The college football playoff doesn't wait for comfort. It doesn't pause for coaching changes, emotional storylines, or feel-good narratives. When the bracket opens, it demands clarity, dominance, and execution under pressure. On Saturday, December 20th, at 3:30 p.m. on TNT, Round 1 of the college football playoff presents a matchup that forces the sport to answer a familiar question in a brutal setting. Can a group of 5 champion truly stand toe-to-toe with an SEC heavyweight when everything is on the line? Tulane vs. Ole Miss is not just a game. It's a measuring stick. Game 1. Tulane vs. Ole Miss Rebels. Tulane enters the playoff ranked number 11 in the nation, carrying an 11-2 record as a group of 5 conference champion. This is a season built on consistency, resilience, and winning when it matters. But the environment changes dramatically in the playoff. Across the field stands Ole Miss, ranked number 6, also 11-1, representing the SEC, a conference defined by physical dominance and weekly survival tests. The context around this game is layered. Tulane head coach Summerall has already accepted the head coaching position at Florida, yet he remains allowed to coach through the playoffs. Stability exists in structure, but the timing adds pressure. Ole Miss faces its own upheaval. Lane Kiffin left during the playoff run, creating a shift in leadership. Pete Golding is now calling defensive plays. Charlie Weiss Jr. handles offensive responsibilities. This game represents the first playoff test under that configuration, described internally as baby steps but with real postseason consequences. This matchup is not unfamiliar. Tulane and Ole Miss played earlier in the season, and Ole Miss waxed the floor with Tulane. That result hangs over this rematch, shaping expectations and reinforcing the narrative gap between these two programs. The playoff odds reflect that separation. Ole Miss enters with an 84% chance to win. Tulane sits at 16%. The betting line aligns with that projection, with Ole Miss listed as 16.5-point favorites and the over-under set at 56.5. Tulane's statistical profile shows balance without dominance. They average 29.1 points per game, producing 240.5 passing yards and 170.2 rushing yards per contest. Defensively, Tulane allows 22.6 points per game, with national ranking references around 50th and around 60th. Offensively, despite near 30-point output, Tulane is classified in the bottom half of Division I offenses based on points per game. The engine of Tulane's offense is their quarterback, a transfer from BYU who left his previous team right before the season started. He has thrown for 2,900 yards with 14 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, while adding 610 rushing yards. He is also the leading rusher on the team, a detail that underscores both his versatility and the offensive burden placed on his decision-making and mobility. Ole Miss operates at a higher offensive ceiling. The Rebels score 37.3 points per game, averaging 309.6 passing yards and 188.5 rushing yards. Their offense produces just under 500 yards per game. Defensively, Ole Miss allows 20.1 points per game, giving up 182.6 passing yards and 150.5 rushing yards. This statistical profile supports the expectation of control on both sides of the ball. Their quarterback, in his first season on the roster, did not start the first couple of games, yet still posted 3,100 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions. A dual-threat presence, his scramble ability consistently turns broken plays into first downs, forcing defenses to defend every blade of grass. The ground game is anchored by Lacey, who has rushed for 1,300 yards and 20 touchdowns, leading the SEC in rushing touchdowns. His production defines the matchup in the trenches, where Ole Miss is expected to control the line of scrimmage and impose physicality early. Matchup notes consistently point toward Ole Miss advantages. The Rebels are expected to control the trenches, win at the line of scrimmage, and outplay Tulane in the secondary. Tulane is described as having no elite offense or defense and no dominant passing or rushing identity. Against an SEC front seven characterized as physical, the expectation is that quarterback runs are limited, third and long situations are forced, and efficiency declines. There is also a forward-looking lens applied to this game. If Ole Miss advances, a likely matchup with Georgia awaits. In their previous meeting with Georgia, Ole Miss dominated most of the game but lost late. That experience frames this contest as preparation as much as competition, a chance to refine execution before a familiar heavyweight challenge. From an analytical standpoint, the stated angles remain consistent. Ole Miss is expected to win outright. Ole Miss is expected to cover the 16.5-point spread. The structure of the game suggests scenarios where Ole Miss establishes control through offensive balance, limits explosive quarterback runs from Tulane, and dictates pace. The total of 56.5 reflects sustained drives and scoring efficiency rather than volatility. Every number, every trend, and every matchup note feeds into a single conclusion drawn from the data provided. Final pick, Ole Miss Rebels. This is beyond the box score, where playoff pressure strips the game down to truth, and the numbers tell the story before the opening kickoff.